Many people wonder how a baby gets oxygen and nutrients while inside the mother. You and I breathe air, and that's how we get oxygen, but a baby's lifeline is the placenta, and the placenta is attached to the baby via the umbilical cord. So if anything happens to either the placenta or the umbilical cord, it can affect blood flow and consequently oxygenation to the baby. It's a fact that during labor, babies are going to experience stress. There's some types that are okay, and there's other types that aren't. It happens because when the uterus contracts, it squeezes the placenta. Here's the uterine wall, and here's the placenta. And when the uterus contracts, we know that at a certain peak pressure, it will cut off circulation altogether to the baby. So we are going to see little dips in the baby's heart rate every now and then during labor. And it's really important to monitor the fetal heart rate pattern because we can respond to those dips when we see it and turn things around, intervene to make sure that the baby is well supported and gets all the oxygenation and blood flow they need during labor. Without monitoring, we can't tell that your baby is safe. So one of the first things we do when you come to the hospital is put 2 monitors on your belly. One is a contraction monitor and tells us what your contractions are doing, and the second is the fetal heart rate monitor. And the pattern of the baby's heart rate tells us a lot about how they're doing while they're inside of you. There's a lot of different things that we look at. For one, we look at the average heart rate. We want the average heart rate to be somewhere between 110 and 160, but it is going to vary from that. It's going to go a little bit above that. It can go a little bit below that and still be normal. Another important factor is variability, or the squiggliness of the baby's heart rate. We want it to vary from beat to beat, and if we're seeing a pattern that has minimal or absent variability, then it could be due to stress or it could be due to sleep. So we have ways of determining which it is, and if it's not sleep and we've determined that it's stress, then we need to get that baby out. And sometimes that means a C-section if vaginal delivery is not imminent or you're not close to that point. We also look for dips in the baby's heart rate, which tell us that the umbilical cord is being pinched or that the placenta is not perfusing well or there's not great blood flow getting to the baby. So there's lots of different things that can happen during this process, and monitoring allows us to appropriately intervene and again help the baby safely through the process of labor and delivery. If you have hesitations about being monitored during your labor and delivery, like you're thinking about not being monitored, talk with your OB provider first to get the facts about why it's so important. I've been a labor and delivery nurse for 10 years, and I've seen countless times how fetal monitoring has helped to save babies' lives and prevent long-term complications from happening, just because we're able to intervene when we see it. And if the baby's not on the monitor, we would never have known that the baby was being compromised and we wouldn't have reacted. Some women have fears about delivering in the hospital because they think that we can't or we won't accommodate their desires for a certain type of experience. But the staff at Intermountain Healthcare is dedicated to helping you have the best experience possible. If that means that you want to go unmedicated or not get an epidural, we'll do everything we can to support you through that. If that means that you want an epidural as soon as possible, we'll make sure that happens as soon as it's possible. Our goal is a healthy mom and a healthy baby, and we're assuming that that's yours too. And in a hospital environment, we can help families have the type of experience they'd like while also benefiting from the safety that a hospital provides. Share your desires for your labor and delivery experience with the staff, and they'll do whatever they can to help you have the best experience possible. Good luck with everything, and if you have more questions for me in the future, please feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.